16 arrested as FBI hits the hacking group Anonymous. The FBI on Tuesday announced the arrest of 16 people across the country in connection with strikes carried out by a loose, secretive federation of hackers called Anonymous. 14 people were charged in connection with an attack on the website of...
16.
14 were charged in connection with an attack on PayPal. I don't know what about the other two. There were 16 who were arrested, but I don't know what the other two were.
Ah.
The suspects in 10 separate states are accused of conspiring to intentionally damage protected computers. In New Jersey, a former contractor with AT&T was arrested on charges that he lifted files from that company's computer systems. The information was later distributed by LulzSec, a group that supposedly spun off from Anonymous. You know, if you do that on behalf of the NSA, they give you a medal. But if you do it on behalf of American people's right for transparency, you're in trouble. Fox News reported Tuesday that the police in London had arrested a 16-year-old boy who they believe was a core member of LulzSec and used the alias T-Flow. The charge of intentional damage to a protected computer is punishable by a maximum of 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine, while conspiracy carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Can't find the anthrax guy. Can't find that guy. Came out yesterday that the supposed anthrax, the chief suspect, who is since dead, incidentally, in the anthrax case, never had the capacity to make weapons-grade anthrax, but they still think he might have done it. He still might have done it. So you get what's going on here, folks. You send anthrax to lawmakers, to people around the country, kill a couple of people, scare the country. Now, Matt, tell me, you're a young guy. That was 10 years ago. You were what, like 15?
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, what do you remember, like, the context and what this anthrax scare happened?
What do you mean by context?
Like when did it happen relative to other things?
I remember it was right after September 11th.
Right.
And I remember maybe a month after, maybe a little bit less. And
you remember Donald Rumsfeld talking about the dangers of something like this could happen?
I do not remember that.
I don't want to get conspiratorial here. I mean, somebody obviously got their cue from him. Do you remember who it was sent to?
I remember it was sent to different lawmakers. I'm not sure who. I just remember being
media outlets.
I remember it was being heavily tied into 9/11 as a terrorist attack. As oh no, here it continues. It wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't presented as something separate.
Now, of course, we never even talk about that terrorist attack, right? We don't ever. That was never that. You know, you give Bush a mulligan on the largest attack on American soil by terrorists ever. And then you give him another mulligan on the anthrax. And then you come up with somebody who supposedly did it, but clearly didn't have the capacity to do it, but maybe he willed it. Now, if you're anonymous and you break into a corporate website, well, that's a different story. Most were in their 20s. 3 were above the age of 30. It's unclear if they knew each other. In the San Jose case, all 14 suspects are accused of using a free program called Low Orbit Ion Cannon to hurl large packets of data at PayPal's site with the intention of it's a denial of service.
Yeah, basically,
if this is not super spy stuff, right?
Yeah, the funny thing is that websites, when this attack was coming out, websites posted the program just so you could understand what they were doing. And I heard stories of some kids, 13-year-olds, downloading the program, they aspire to be as cool as these hackers are or whatever. And I've heard stories of kids trying the program out, and I've heard that FBI have paid these kids a visit as well. I mean, this isn't hacking. This is someone using a program that they might not even know how to use to simply do a denial of service attack.
We accidentally launched a denial of service attack on our own website when we were setting it up.
Well, you will hear from the FBI then. That's the way I roll.